Hey guys, it's Audio D.
And the beef.
That was Beef introducing himself, I guess. We're time to talk about that there Sony press conference.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that shit.
it was good.
So
The end.
Yeah, well, it's time to close shop then, I guess.
No, we can elaborate. I think.
Okay. So the first game they had was I was like, oh man, another Tomb Raider? They just made one.
Turns out, no, it was a trick.
They fooled us with their British ponytail girl.
They did. I was like, British ponytail girl? Must be Lara Croft. No.
There's only one British ponytail girl ever, including in real life.
And it is always Lara Croft.
Always.
Always. Not so.
No.
It was a trick.
This is Uncharted British Ponytail Edition.
Yeah. And she has a friend.
She has a friend. Who's not her friend. I kind of was pissed off that they spoiled that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the main part of the story is that they have issues.
I'm probably never going to play it,
it's
but yeah.
It's co-op-y, or if it's not co-op-y, I'm assuming you get to switch between the two characters or something. I don't know.
Oh, kind of like Resident Evil 0, where
Maybe.
you can play as Chris and, fucking Billy and Rebecca?
Don't look at me. I've never played those Resident Evil games.
Yeah, Resident Evil 0 with Chris and Rebecca. If that sounds pretty cool. Or like, the later games where they were meant to be co-op Resident Evils, but they were like, fuck it, you can play as both of them. Who cares? But yeah, that game looks okay. I'm not really a fan of Uncharted, but I'm glad that people who are have a new game.
Yeah.
Isn't that Nathan Drake who's Uncharted?
And Nathan Drake isn't in it.
Yeah,
or at least he's not a main character in it.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Well, because Deadpool killed him.
That's not.
Deadpool killed Nathan Drake. He's dead.
You're silly. You're a silly bean.
So, the next game on here. Now, PlayStation was also fucking rapid fire. They went like a machine gun, dude.
If this wasn't a decision that they made after seeing Microsoft's press conference, then this is a really good goddamn coincidence.
Yeah. Because, like, last year they also did that.
The format of their press conferences were almost identical.
But I think they did the same thing last year, including being in the same theater.
They might have.
So, I think Ubisoft took a page out of PlayStation's book.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Microsoft still did show off more games than Sony did.
That's true.
But, Sony for us
is more important.
Has a little bit of an advantage just based on the fact that we were actually already planning on going with those consoles.
Yeah. We're poor folk and haven't been able to get a new console until recently.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean we won't talk about it.
So, yeah. So, we're gonna... I mean, we've still been able to PC game because you don't need to get a new console for that.
Yeah. I mean, low-end stuff mostly.
Xbox. God damn it.
Yeah.
So, what is that, like? They have 3 consoles that do the exact same shit now?
Kinda.
Incredible. It's almost as bad as Nintendo's Game Boy bullshit with the DS.
Oh, Lord.
There's like 700 versions of the 3DS. And
they finally released the 2DS with the fucking, with the hinges on it.
Which is all anybody ever wanted. When you released the 3DS, people were like, this gimmick is dumb. We just want to play games on this. And they were like, okay, here's a 2DS. But this one is, I can't put this shit in my pocket.
The most inconvenient fucking shape ever.
Yeah, I can't put this in my pocket, I might break it. Okay.
Get a purse.
5 years later, it has hinges. Fucking Ode to Joy starts playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to PlayStation. So, Horizon Zero Dawn, Frozen Wilds, it's DLC.
It looks pretty great.
Yeah, I have not played Horizon Zero Dawn yet.
It's got like a Skyrim-y vibe to it. Although like a sci-fi Skyrim-y vibe. But that's just because it's snow. And they all wear furs.
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Sci-fi rim.
Yeah.
Touch the sky rim.
What does that fucking mean about how do I touch the sky or something? How am I do touch the sky?
Something like that. Imagine how is touch the sky.
Imagine how is touch the Skyrim. So next, because the Horizon Zero Dawn was super quick, so let's be super quick. Days Gone actually had some, and I'm gonna use air quotes, gameplay.
Brr.
Where we see the main biker guy leave his, like, location, I guess, to do some scouting and to get a hostage back from some other assholes that live in the world. And again, it's very much like Walking Dead if Rick wasn't a fucking buffoon.
But not as Walking Dead as State of Decay was.
Yeah.
That one's more about settlement keeping. This one's not.
Well, this one, they are in a settlement the moment you start this
but
clip.
I doubt that's very customizable. At least if it was, they would have mentioned it.
True.
So far, anyway. Unless it's something they plan on adding and they haven't quite gotten around to yet. Just a thought.
No, I feel you. I feel that.
I think this is probably more adventure-y based, like stealth adventure. Action, stealth adventure kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Metal Gear with zombies, but good.
Oh, well, I mean, the stealth wasn't even that good. He's hiding next to a log and the running zombies can't even see him.
I don't buy that was good enough cover for that particular moment of the trailer, but whatever.
It was pre-recorded anyway.
Suspension of belief, I guess.
Those zombies weren't meant for him. But then they ended it with a zombear.
Wrapped in barbed wire.
Bears are in every game this year. Bears are the new, like...
Bears are in.
Bears are in. They're the new dog. Remember that year where there was, like, a dog in every game and everybody was losing their shit? Like, yay, dogs.
Yeah, it's in Metro. It's in this game.
The Skyrim
that I'm
Online.
looking for the name of in your notes and I don't see it.
The one that we were just talking about?
Days Gone. It's in Days Gone and it's in...
Skyrim Online.
It's in Skyrim Online.
You have the bear as a friend in that one.
And it's in the God of War.
God of War. Bears.
But that one's just Kratos.
I put my hand to my chest and I was like, I had a blush moment. But yes, Kratos is super hunky. We move on to Monster Hunter World, which I lost my goddamn... This is the game right here. Because people were like, oh yeah, Beyond Good and Evil like won the convention for me because they have a special attachment to it, and that's great. But I've never gotten to play like a Monster Hunter game.
Proper?
Yeah. Like real proper. And so I'm super excited that I can finally join in on that experience.
Because in order to do it properly, you need to get in early and you need to get a squad together.
Yeah. And now I have a squad. Like, I at least know some people who want to pick it up. So I'm this sold it was like, alright, we were thinking about teetering between PS4 and Switch. And we were like, definitely fucking PS4 because holy shit, Monster Hunter, he jumped on that dinosaur's big nose and he stabbed it in the nose.
He grappled it at one point.
Yeah.
Like, not like for suplex or anything, but like he jumped on it to attack it and he like just grabbed onto the side of its head and then started shanking it in the neck.
And it was just like, holy shit, that's brutal. And then he put on ghillie suits to like fool the monsters.
Yeah, there was a ghillie suit that had leaves on it, and then there was a ghillie suit that like was painted to look like a rock.
Yeah. And then the motherfucker shoots off a flare to the rest of his crew who are riding on pterodactyl hang gliders.
Yeah.
And then the dinosaur got territorial with another dinosaur.
And there was Gatling cannons.
And then he ate a big hunk of indeterminate meat. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that didn't have the jingle that's usually associated with the cooking of the meat, but that's okay.
I think the jingles in the game, it might just be like...
It fucking better be.
The trailer had dramatic music over it.
Also, where are my cute little cat guys?
Maybe they're in another reveal. The little cat dudes.
I hope they're a playable race.
You can play as a tiny little cat.
Tiny little cat guy. I love them.
They're really cute.
They're one of my favorite like game mascots ever.
Little cat dudes.
Little Monster Hunter cat guys.
They're really resourceful, those cats.
They're bastards when they're enemies. It's not very often that they're enemies, but when they are, they're bastards.
Can you hunt the cat boys?
No, but they will steal things from you.
Why? Why are they being mean?
I don't know. They're just territorial,
I'm gonna go to them for fucking crafting anyway, right?
Certain tribes of them, I guess, are territorial. I don't know.
Assholes.
Because they're the only enemies that you can fight that I'm aware of that know how to pickpocket.
What douchebags.
Yeah.
So I am the most hype in the goddamn world for Monster Hunter, for this Monster Hunter game. I'm hype as shit. Oh, there was also traps. There was a part where he lured the dinosaur over and it like...
You got freaked out by the trap. There's been traps in every single Monster Hunter.
But I've never... That trap was so elaborate. Like, there was stuff happening. There was not just vines. There was like a tree bending and then a bunch of vines and then it caught him and then it tied him down. And I was like, did he do that? Did the main character do that? Also, he had a sword made out of like a jawbone of an ass.
Well, you see, for the most part, the monsters are just kind of stupid and you can lead them into traps. I mean, other ones are a little bit smarter. So, like, smart enough that, like, oh, if they see you putting down a trap, they won't walk into it. But, like, for the most part, they're kind of stupid enough that they'll just walk into it.
They're just like, doop, doop, doop. Oh no, I've been trapped.
Because, like, they're vicious enough that they don't care what you're digging there.
They just want to eat you.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that dinosaur sniffing, and then his nose came up, and I was like, his nose is bigger.
Yeah. He extended his sniffer for sniffing.
He definitely did. He sniffed a lot, and then that cost him because the guy used that to grapple.
But Monster Hunter World looked great.
It's the best game so far for me.
And there was, like I said, there was cannons are not only back. It looks like they introduced Gatling cannons, which is hot fire.
Well, literally that is what will happen. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
The next one is there were destructible environments. He led the dinosaur through a cave, and the cave was like collapsing around the dinosaur because he's too big for that cave.
Yeah.
And it was collapsing around him. That was so cool.
The environments look like they're destructible, whether it's by you using explosives, because most of the Monster Hunter games there's explosives. Although I don't recall many of them having fully destructible. None of them, to my knowledge, have had fully destructible environments. Like there's been times where like, oh, this thing is scripted to be blown upable, but like,
yeah.
It looks like the environment can be destroyed by your explosions or by just really big monsters just being clumsy or really desperate to chase you.
Yeah.
So I guess moving on from that, which looked great. Most excited for game of E3 so far, I guess.
Most excited new game because they fucking announced Shadow Colossus HD next, and I about wet myself because I love Shadow of the fucking Colossus.
I just want to know what they're going to add to it.
Me too. Hopefully they'll add more Colossi
other than just graphics, because as beautiful and great as that game is, it's really short.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna remake it, I'd like you to add a couple little things. Nothing too major that ruins the game, but just a couple little small things.
Colossi, more of them.
Maybe a couple bonus Colossi that aren't like marked with your sword compass, but you have to actually find.
Yeah, hidden Colossi.
Some hidden Colossi. Maybe like, I don't know, something like I'd like them to introduce like a kind of like a hunting mechanic type deal, where it's not necessarily like required, like you're not going to have starvation gauges or any of that bullshit, but more of a use to use your bow and the swinging of your sword.
You use your sword to kill geckos, I remember, right? To expand your life.
Yeah, but everyone just uses the bow for that because it's really inefficient to try and use the sword for it because they move too fast.
Use the sword to find Colossuses.
Yeah, but that's not swinging it.
That's true.
You can swing. As you recall, I'm sure, there's a button that lets you just swing the sword around, but you never use that feature ever. The only time you ever really use your sword is when you're stabbing.
Yeah, when you're jabbing a fucking Colossi right in the fucking shin and it goes down like a brick. Oh, that feeling is so good.
It is.
But yes, I get what you're saying.
I'm hoping they add a couple little fighting encounters. Just I don't know. I think it just would be neat.
It would be neat. Nobody's saying it's not going to be neat.
Well, I'm sure lots of people will be like, no, don't change the game at all.
Keep it pure.
Keep it pure. Keep it the same. You're going to ruin it by adding extra combat. It's like,
You can just go back and play the PlayStation 2 version of it, which everybody has a copy of. And if you're saying you don't have a copy of it, you're full of baloney.
Also, I think it would just make certain areas of the world map a little bit more treacherous while you're on your way to the Colossus.
Yeah, I get you. We'll see what they do. Maybe add a couple of like dangerous fish, or I don't know,
wolves.
Yeah,
I don't know, something.
Fucking something. And then maybe they serve the same point as the geckos do.
Yeah, maybe they give you extra bonus, whatever the fuck. I don't know what. I ain't a game designer.
It's life gauge is what you kill the geckos for.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what the wolves will be.
Same shit. Just replace some of the gecko encounters with wolves.
Alright.
Moving on. Because Shadow Colossus is an old game, and here's a new game. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which, I mean, it looks fine. I don't care, though. I like the idea that there's a story, because I was pissed off at Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for not having one.
And I love Rocket Raccoon. He's my favorite character in the entire Marvel Universe.
However, no X-Men, no peace.
You know why they removed the X-Men.
I know, and it's not only is it bullshit, but it's a slap in the face to the franchise itself, which wouldn't exist without the fucking X-Men.
The Marvel vs. Capcom franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fuck you guys, taking on my goddamn X-Men. How am I supposed to have my team of fucking Cyclops, Jill Valentine, and fucking
Your main.
my main team, Cyclops, Jill Valentine, and who was the third one? I haven't played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in like 100 years.
Iron Man.
No.
Gambit.
Sabretooth.
Sabretooth. There you go.
Sabretooth's never gonna be in that game again, I don't think. Nobody really likes Sabretooth except for me. Moving on. Call of Duty. World War II.
You were just gonna say COD. There's fishing.
I thought about that because of the fucking Final Fantasy thing, and I'm hot and it's late and I'm tired, so I absolutely was gonna go.
And we're all sticky because of sweat because it's hot.
Yeah, so I was gonna go fucking.
We're just generally uncomfortable.
Yeah, so I was just gonna be like fucking COD. You get it? The store, it's the cheapest fish you can buy.
But no, Call of Duty, World War II. Nazis!
Nazis.
Again.
I mean, what else?
For the second time this E3 though.
There's only one thing to say about this game is that it looks great. You know,
Nazis are less prevalent at E3 than bears.
Yes, there's more bears than Nazis. There's 2 occurrences of Nazis, 4 occurrences of bear.
Yep.
So.
Now, if we had Nazi bear, that'd be another thing.
Holy shit, Nazi zombie bear?
Nazi zombie bear.
Close down the convention. We have a winner.
Yay.
But you know, this one I think this Call of Duty looks fine. It looks like Call of Duty. I mean, there's not much new to really talk about. I'm excited for it. I'll probably get it.
Good.
I'll probably get it because my little brother really wants to play it, and I like bonding with him.
I think we'd end up with Battlefield before Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1 before Call of Duty. World War II.
WW2.
Yeah.
Is it called World War II or is it just WW2?
It's written as WW2, but we all know what that stands for.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you gotta have the fucking licensing right.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. The next game is, hey, guess what? Did you like Skyrim the other 700 times it was released and talked about this E3?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna fucking love it in VR with its awkward bowstringing.
And the disembodied weapons.
You're gonna fucking love it again. God damn it.
Could your character not, at least in the VR, be wearing like the gloves of your armor at least?
Probably. Is it just hands?
Sometimes it's just hands, and sometimes it's literally just a floating weapon. It's floating on its own, like it was with the bows.
That's great.
And it looked awkward, man. Like, ugh.
It looks like you have the cloak's glitch on yourself.
And plus, didn't a bunch of people like just home make Skyrim VR already?
Probably. They've done, like, modders have done everything with Skyrim already.
Like, I saw one guy who had, like, one of those, like, walking sphere things for it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you're right. You're
so, like,
right.
the Skyrim VR was already, like, homemade by people.
Yeah. But it wasn't widely available to people who buy the PlayStation 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but, I don't know. I just don't care for VR in general, I guess.
Me either, but I'm glad that there's more options for people who do.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like shrug about it being Skyrim again.
I love Skyrim, but I'm starting to get sick of Skyrim.
Yeah, I'm fucking sick of seeing it be. I'm sick of Bethesda riding that horse to death. Put it out to pasture.
Get a new horse.
Yeah. And I get it. Skyrim's really, really good. Where's the next game?
Hell, fucking remake. Instead of having modders do it, why don't you guys re-release Oblivion and Morrowind in the Skyrim engine?
Yeah.
You guys fucking do it.
That's what you fuckers should have hired the goddamn modders to do.
Oh, well.
Missed opportunities. Alright, next thing. Star Child. It's a side-scrolling space VR, and I guess you are a robot, we think?
Yeah, we think you're a robot who's helping this girl platform.
Yeah.
Around the sci-fi universe.
And then they said, that worked. let's do it again, but with an adorable mouse. And I was like, this one's better because that mouse is the fucking
better.
cutest thing I've ever
seen. He has a
seen.
gauntlet made of grass on his one arm.
I want to
and
feed him
handkerchief.
cheese.
His handkerchief for dabbing his mouth off after he eats cheese.
Yeah. I was just so enamored by that cute little mouse that I was just like, oh my god.
And he has a blade of grass as a weapon.
It reminds me of Redwall, you know? So I'm already on board.
It's so goddamn cute. And you're like this giant spirit thing that's helping to guide him on his adventure.
And then if I say...
Same exact, like, mechanic premise to Star Child, but
this has a tiny anthropomorphic Redwall mouse.
But the aesthetic is, like, way better. Even though
the aesthetic is cute.
The art style in both is nice, but this is, like, better. So it's called Moss. Moss is better than Star Child. I'm just going to go ahead and call that now, although they both look good.
Yeah, they both look good. It's cool to have the mouse with a fucking Adventure Time, like, blade of grass. That was cool.
Yeah.
So the next game on here is The Impatient. Apparently you're in an asylum. People who play scary video games on YouTube and Twitch are definitely gonna like that one. There's lots of suspense about being in the asylum, so that's good for them.
And you as a player don't know what is and is not you being crazy.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And then we get to the real meat of potatoes of E3.
You mean the best part of E3? Fucking Final Fantasy fishing.
Yeah.
Fishing Fantasy 15.
What was it actually called?
Fuck. I just wrote
Monsters of the Deep. Final Fantasy 15, something like that.
I just wrote in my notes FF15 VR Extreme Fishing.
I know, but you should have also written down the title because it was just an absurd sounding title. Oh well.
Yeah, I think it's Monsters of the Deep or whatever. But that looks... I know
Monsters of the Deep, subtitle, Final Fantasy 15.
Yes. I don't care what any of you says. This game looks fucking great. Like, it legitimately looks great.
It looks like a good fishing game. It genuinely does.
And I like the silly aesthetic of Final Fantasy over it.
They're going for a very interesting cross-section of their fan base here.
Yeah.
With the VR fishing game.
People who like JRPGs, people who like Bishonen, and people who like fishing. Like, Beef's dad likes fishing. He likes Final Fantasy. Not a big fan of Bishonen.
He's not a big fan of Final Fantasy.
Really?
He likes the original Dragon Quest, but that's about it.
Oh, shit. And then you have my little sister who's into Bishonen, but not really into Final Fantasy or fishing. Do you see what the problem is here?
Yes.
And you have Beef who's into, like, all three. And
I'm down with this.
Yeah, so he's down with it.
I'm down with it.
I'm down with the absurdity of that concept. So bring it on.
And you got to see them. There's cutscenes of them hanging around a campfire, just chowing down on the fish that was caught.
Yeah, you feel good because you did this.
Do you get to choose which of the boys you play as?
Crack open a cold one with the boys.
Yeah.
I want to do it as the daddy boy. The boy that's the daddy.
Don't say that.
What?
The big boy.
Does that make it sound better?
A little bit.
Well,
ever so slightly.
I want to play Final Fantasy Fishing as the big boy.
There you go.
The bearded boy.
Yes.
He's the daddy boy.
Just don't call him that.
That's what he is.
Don't. So anyway, God of War happened again. Speaking of daddies, God of War is back. And we learned that, like...
That little boy is definitely his son.
That little boy is definitely his kid. And, like, he knows something that Kratos doesn't or something? There's this, like...
Well, he says, I know who you are.
There's, like, something about the truth or something.
I think what he means is, like... Because Kratos looks like he's really stoic and silent. Like, he doesn't talk to even his own wife much. And I think that she knows that he murdered his family previously.
Wife.
New wife. Second wife. New wife plus.
I don't believe it's a wife.
Okay. Woman that he's banging.
There you go.
Baby mama. He's talking to his baby mama, and I think she knows that he murdered his original family, and he hasn't said anything to the kid about it. And the kid probably knows because the mom probably told him. I think that's what the kid's referring to.
Maybe.
Like, I know the truth. You don't have to be so fucking distant from me just because you're afraid of losing me like you lost your original family. Or you're afraid of killing me like you killed the original family.
We did find out that the whole Norse thing and the Norse gods and stuff is because he's in a different realm. I don't know what that means. Just a different part of the world, a different universe, different dimension. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, like, think about it. The original realm had Atlas holding up the world, right? And this one, you have, like, I guess this is it.
And how did he do that?
Yeah, how did he transcend realms?
Ooh, mysteries.
This is interesting. And you get to see the goddamn... You get to see the fucking serpent. The world serpent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was really happy to see him. And I was really happy that we get to see more, like, Norse stuff. This is really cool. And it made me think that maybe down the line in the future we can maybe get a Dante's Inferno, you know, fucking God of War crossover where they both go to hell.
Oh, dang. It's possible.
But, I mean, hell, I'd just be happy with Kratos going to ancient Egypt after this because,
fighting, like, Ra and Anubis and shit.
Yeah, and then he goes to fucking ancient Maya. He fights the fucking Mayan gods.
Oh, jeez, I need to see ancient Mayan fucking Kratos so bad.
He looks so cool.
He looks so goddamn cool, and those gods are all brutal.
Yeah.
So it'd be awesome to see fucking Kratos, and I'm excited for this game that might not happen now. You've got me.
Yeah.
I'm excited and mad at the same time.
I'm good. Although Kratos is cute.
He's being his good old fashioned self, talking about like when you fight an enemy, you have to like turn off your compassion and just not give a shit about how desperate they are.
And the kid is like, Dad, I want you to show compassion to me. And Kratos is like, no compassion. God damn it, son, why are you so soft? Dad, I want you to love me.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
He throws his son at a monster. That was actually a mechanic. He used his kid as a weapon. Or at least he threw his kid in the air so the kid could do an attack. Can you control the kid?
I imagine there's a point in the game where Kratos dies and you do take up the control of the kid.
No!
That's my imagination.
And that what? Kratos fucking the kid like burns Kratos' ashes and pours it all over himself and he's this little white kid.
And he becomes the new Kratos.
And then the next couple games is just this kid fucking brutally ripping things apart with his bare hands.
Yep, to avenge his daddy.
I'm okay with like an 8-year-old fucking kid ripping people apart. I'm okay with that.
I mean, it might not happen, but like, I'm predicting it. Calling it.
I'm predicting the little boy's gonna die.
And that's technically not a spoiler because it's a prediction. That's different.
I'm predicting the boy is dead.
Oh no.
And Kratos has to go to another realm because he feels too bad about this.
We're predicting a death either way.
Somebody's dying. Or new wife 2.0.
Although no one could die. Well,
the gods can die.
Out of those two, anyway.
The gods have to die. That's the whole point, right?
Out of Kratos and his boy, neither of them might die. But we're both predicting a death.
Here's something that also I wanted to bring up. The Sony stage has, like, aesthetics around it. Like, at the beginning of the show, they had, like, some music being played, and they had, like, this sand that looks like... They had sand and water, like, pouring from the ceiling. It wasn't real, of course, but it looked real. Then, when Kratos did the thing, the whole... They put water on the crowd. Like, the crowd had a light filter on them that looked like water.
Yeah.
And then they announced Destiny 2, and the banners came from the ceiling. This was a really good presentation. Sony knows how to put on a fucking show.
Yeah.
They had one sparkler for Marvel's Capcom. Because the rest of the sparklers wouldn't work.
And one of the things they had, I don't even remember what it was, but there was like fog all over the stage.
That was God of War.
Was it God of War?
Kratos was rowing his boat, and you were like, the fog from like...
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
The thing was on stage. That was so cool.
It was really cool.
Okay.
I like fog machines.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
It was like a fucking 4D experience. I love that the whole personality is pretty good. It makes me go, okay, if I'm ever in California for E3, I want to go to the Sony event. Okay, the next thing here is Detroit Become Human. They showed some more of that. They showed that the robots get fucking big, get their big britches on.
They get big,
and they get mad, and they're not gonna.
They don't get physically big, just like
their balls get big, metaphorically big.
Metaphorically big. They get big metaphorically.
And they punch out that window, and they're like, "We're mad as hell, and we're not gonna take it anymore."
Yeah.
And that's the robots. So like, yeah, that's it.
It's your pretty standard, like, you know,
Rise of the machines. Only you're a machine this time, and the machines aren't assholes. I mean, the machines are kinda.
It's your pretty standard, like, revolution type, we're people too type story.
And I get what it's supposed to be, but I am totally against letting AI become so self-aware. I'm against giving them brains. I'm one of those people.
You're on the wrong side of history.
That history hasn't even happened yet. I don't like the idea of making robots capable of destroying us. Is that so wrong?
Yeah.
No, I learned from Terminator to never give them fucking awareness. And you motherfuckers keep giving them awareness.
That age-old propaganda film, Terminator.
No! Fuck you! Those robots destroyed us all!
Oh.
Do you remember the robot crushed the human skull under his little robot foot?
He didn't notice.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. He just didn't know. He knew what he was fucking doing. But yeah.
It's tired and we're late. Wait.
Both of those things are true. We said Destiny 2 happened. There's no surprise anymore.
Destiny 2 happened.
People are excited.
I don't personally care, but I know that lots of people do. So
I want to play Destiny 2. I want to play it. I wanted to play the first Destiny.
It's alright.
But like this one has a really badass like King of the Locusts from fucking Gears of War that showed up and like beat the asses of everybody.
Like,
I guess you lose the first game.
Like Gears of War meets like Warcraft was that paladin guy in design.
He looked cool. He was also an anti-paladin. He was a bad boy.
Yeah, he was a bad boy, but he was wearing like paladin colors of like white and gold and shit.
Yeah.
And he had wings.
And he booted the guy off the building with no care at all.
He was like, "Fuck you, boop."
With apathy, just a little boot.
Boop.
And he was gone.
He was gone.
What are we saying that's the last game? That's the last game? SpiderMan was the last game.
SpiderMan was the last game. SpiderMan. I'm really, really, really hoping that there are alternate skins you can wear in that game.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that jizz costume at all.
I don't call it that. Don't
He's
call it that.
He's so pure, you guys. He's so pure and clean.
I just don't care for the design. I feel like there's a couple little tweaks I'd make to it to just make it better in my opinion, but like I have no control over this.
I'd make the spider not that color. That's all I'd do.
Pretty much.
Cause like he's doing like Arkham Asylum Batman stealth shit, and he has this big white target on his chest.
Like I'm really like I said, I'm really hoping that there are a lot of alternate skins because I want to definitely play this game in like this noir Spider-Man costume.
Why don't you want to play this game as the Amazing Bagman?
Or the Amazing Bagman, who is also amazing and a bagman.
Both of those things are correct.
They teased Miles is in it.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I had the biggest like cheese grin on my face when I saw Miles.
Was it just a cameo for the fans, or
no? I think
he's gonna have an actual part.
He might have a part in it.
I hope so.
He's fucking great. Also, it looks like
I don't doubt that his costume's unlockable.
Yeah.
Speaking about skins and shit, I'm mentioning skins so much because A, I don't like the default costume. And,
yeah.
And B, like every Spider-Man game for the past like I don't even know how many years has had like a skin changing option. So
you put eel gnats in the fucking cheating box and you'll be able to get all the skins.
Yes.
You want the woman who dies in the fire in this game.
Yes, I want them to because I noticed a lot of the action-y sequences were QuickTime events. And that made me think of the that one infamous QuickTime event from I don't even know what Spider-Man game that is, but like the person who's playing it does it all perfectly until the very last like button prompt, and then he doesn't do that one right, and he lands like he just belly flops on the concrete, and then it zooms in on the woman's face, and she says like, "I'm gonna die," and then it goes outside of the building, and the building explodes. I want them to put that in the game. I'm really hoping that like. The developers, like, put some really fucking funny shit in there for some of those failed, QuickTime event button presses.
Same. Also,
you gotta have some brutal ones and some fucking hilarious ones.
What I want to come back is my balloon. from the Amazing Spider-Man movie game.
Don't ever ask for that
My
coming back again. Nobody wants balloons. Fuck balloons.
You bet your ass that there's gonna at least be one balloon.
Lord.
At least one. Or there's gonna be a scene where the Macy's parade is happening and they lose control of a float. And it's a bunch of people screaming, "My balloon!"
There's like one kid who's like, "My balloon!"
And Spider-Man decides, I'm not gonna save the Garfield float. I'm gonna get this kid back his red balloon.
But no, Garfield's a franchise.
Fuck Garfield. Oh yeah, you're right. Well, it'd be like Spider-Pig or whatever.
Yeah.
He does whatever
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Pig does. Spider-Ham.
Which I hope is another unlockable skin.
Just big old spider, honking spider nose.
Yeah. The big hog.
He's little hog.
Little hog.
He was eating. There was one of my favorite scenes, and I'm gonna say this before we wrap this up. From the comics is the Spider Pig eating a ham sandwich, and they're like, "You're eating a ham sandwich," and he's like, "What?" No, it's fucking hilarious. I'm not doing it justice, but I immediately thought of that scene. It's great. Spider Ham is a cannibal, guys.
Yeah, he is.
Just like real pigs, who will definitely eat another pig if they get a pig in their pen and they're hungry.
Yep.
There's your nature fact for the evening.
Pigs are not picky eaters.
Pigs will eat you.
Yep. If you're injured.
Mm-hmm. When they're hungry, they will eat you. Okay, so that sums up the PlayStation thing. I think this one won the thing for me. It definitely solidified we are going to get a PlayStation instead of a Switch, maybe. Because tomorrow morning is Nintendo's conference, and they have a lot to do. They have a lot to crawl back from to win the conference.
I'm predicting that Sony's gonna, like for us anyway, Sony's gonna win the whole E3 thing. Just because Nintendo doesn't really usually pull out their big things for E3. They usually pull out their big things for their own little treehouse thing.
Yeah, they're doing a treehouse tomorrow.
Or not the treehouse, some other thing.
Nintendo Direct.
The Directs, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They usually pull them out, their big stuff out for the Directs, not the Switch, not the E3. So.
And we just had a Direct, so I don't think they have anything new to tell us. It's mostly probably going to be the treehouses showcasing levels from this new Squid Game.
Probably.
So I'm not very enthusiastic.
That said, like, it's a toss-up, honestly, in who did the better showcase this year, Microsoft or Sony. If I'm being unbiased, it was probably Microsoft, but I'm personally more interested in the stuff that was shown by Sony. Although you can't deny that Microsoft did an amazing job just based on how many things they showed.
They came out there and they whipped out 40-something games just back to back.
Which is goddamn impressive.
Man, it was overwhelming, man. I was trying to tweet. It was hard. This time I was tweeting and stuff. It was still a little bit overwhelming, but not as overwhelming as Microsoft's. I got some choice tweets out. Follow me at audio_D Twitter.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was, but for us so far, Sony is winning just based on that stuff we're personally more interested in, based on what we saw.
What we're gonna get.
So, yeah,
that's it, brothers.
E3's been pretty decent this year, for the most part. I mean, Bethesda made me upset, and EA was just kind of a slog. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
And the Devolver Digital, we didn't watch it. It came on too late, and they weren't going to announce any new games anyway, so we was like, fuck that noise, we're going to sleep.
Yeah. We skipped them because it was told ahead of time they were just not going to announce any games. Although that would be the perfect time to announce a game. But then you're purposely getting eyes off of your showcase, so what the I don't know. It was a dumb move on their part to even say that in advance.
Yeah. But at the same
regardless of whether or not they actually were not going to show games.
Same time, it was good for us because we didn't have to sit through it at 1 in the goddamn morning.
Yeah. So that's something.
Yeah.
And we're not doing the PC gamer thing this year either.
Just because there wasn't one that I'm sure it happened, it just wasn't announced on the schedule that I had.
I think it's tomorrow at some point.
Okay.
Some point before Nintendo. But I'm not even going to be home for that. I got work in the morning.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the Nintendo one and take notes and stuff, and then probably show him the footage later on when he comes home from work. But yeah, it was definitely an experience. That was PlayStation. That was Sony.
Yep. and it was good.
I'm giving a thumbs up to the microphone, but this is an audio medium.
This is an audio medium, even though this is on a video. Isn't that weird?
It's a podcast.
Yes, it's a podcast, and you get to look at a pretty picture.
It's an alright picture.
Don't sell yourself short.
I haven't drawn the picture yet, so I don't want to get their hopes up.
It might be good. Who knows? Let us know in the comments whether or not it's good. Be gentle.
It's not good.
Don't do this to yourself.
Alright, guys. Laters.
Bye-bye.